Hello there guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Sal speaking. Today I'm gonna talk about fighting methods from Bruce Lee's book Fighting Methods. So when it comes to training, why do we train? Bruce Lee believed that all martial artists train for one purpose, which is to defend themselves. Whether you practice judo, karate, kung fu, aikido, whatever you practice, our ultimate goal is to be ready for any situation. How can we be prepared for any situation? Well, first of all, we need to study the techniques in our mind. If the technique is clear in our mind, we will be ready to face any situation. We'll be able to improve as we daily exercise. One thing that you need to consider is that you never know what's going to happen as soon as you turn around that street corner. Somebody could come up to you and try to steal your wallet, your money, and your life could be at stake. It is undeniable that today we live in a crazy world, and therefore we need to be prepared to defend ourselves and our loved ones. When I train with heavy weights, I often think about really crazy situations. For example, I think about that I am defending a little girl from kidnappers. That really makes me angry, and so the anger, it turns into power and strength, and I find a greater motivation to do things. So when you train, try to imagine like that you are defending your family, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. If you think about that, you'll train in a different way. You're not just training like to throw punches in the air, nonsense punches in the air, but you're training for a purpose, which is to defend yourself and your families as well. Anger doesn't always produce energy. This is a misconception. I am against it. I think if you know how to control yourself, and if you know how to use your anger in the right time as you're hitting your opponent to defend yourself, it makes sense. But as soon as you let your anger out, your strength is gone, your fuel is gone, you haven't got any more energies. You start shaking because you've done your action. So when you do your action, just make sure you're doing your action at the right time. Make sure you're acting at the right time. Well, the boost will last only for a moment, and then you will be like a machine running out of battery. Bruce used to say, to train for that purpose, you must train seriously. You must train seriously. You have to put your mind, your heart, your whole soul to it. You have to imagine things. If you imagine situations, your fight and your training will be more effective and more real indeed. When we say that practice makes perfect, that's right. If you train daily, if your mind is there, and if you're doing your best to improve your techniques, but also trying to hit real things, because it's not only by practicing the technique that we improve, but we improve as we actually put into practice our techniques, as we hit real things, as we hit things, as we train our fingers, as we train our hands to hit in the proper way. Because if you hit in this way, you're gonna break your wrist. So just be careful when you train and when you practice, especially if you're not familiar with martial arts. I practiced karate for many years, and I can say I'm not a master yet, but I am somewhat expert when it comes to techniques. I know how to execute the techniques in the right way. For example, I found it really useful when you're looking at pictures of techniques. I suggest you to have in your mind one picture a day of a specific technique. For example, a punch or a kick or whatever you're thinking about. Just have something in your mind and train your mind so that when that moment comes, and I hope it will never come in your life, but if that moment ever comes into your life, you need to be prepared and ready to face a real fight. And remember, if you don't win the fight, you lose the fight. And as you lose the fight, you might also lose your life. And we don't want this to happen. Unfortunately, I haven't got a punching bag in here, but maybe in the near future I'll buy one and I'll show you some techniques. You really need to hit real things and with a real purpose as you do so. Bruce Lee used to say, if you are going to train without the concept that this is the real thing, you are shortchanging yourself. When you kick or punch the bag, you have to imagine that you are actually hitting an adversary. Yeah, I really like the karate position. I really liked to attack my adversary, like bang, bang. You have to be quick. You gotta be quick before he gets you. It is important, and I'm using like the Cali The Moment. It is important that you understand that every part of the body has to be trained in order to resist the blows of your adversary, in order to resist a kick, or if you're like blocking a specific technique, if you're trying to block a kick or a punch, whatever you're trying to do. Well, it's really hard to block a punch, I must say that, but you can avoid a punch maybe, but you must be ready for any type of situation. So let's pretend we are in a bar, you're having some drinks with some friends. I hope you won't be drunk at that time, because if somebody's gonna attack you and you're drunk, I don't know if you can defend yourself in the best way. When fights like that occur, you never know what's gonna happen. Sometimes even chairs fly from every direction, and you can be easily hit by anything, by a bottle of beer, by a glass, by anything. So you have to be ready and prepared in order to resist the blows of your opponent. So I use the Cali here to, the Kung Fu teaches you to resist blows. So something you have to do, and really it hurts when I do this, but this is important, because if you're like blocking a kick, or if you're like protecting yourself from a chair, let's say you're protecting yourself from a chair, right? You have to, it really hurts, but these will make you stronger. So the same thing here. Yes, it really hurts, but this is very important that you do this, see? Yeah, it really hurts, but it is important that you become ready to face any blows that come from any direction. You have to be ready. If you're not used to, like being hit by something, you won't be able to resist a fight. You will, just be knocked out within 2 seconds. Also, another important part that I like to discuss, and karate doesn't really talk much about this. Well, when I say karate, I'm talking about the Shotokan style, and that's the style I practiced. I might be wrong, so I'm not 100% fully sure about this, but I do consider, I do reckon that training the shin is something really, really important. And luckily enough, I have a friend who practiced Kung Fu, and who introduced me to some trainings for your shin, and I can say that training your shin is of vital importance, because, for example, I was playing one of my friends the other day, and he's got big muscles, he's very strong, and his arms weigh a lot, they're very heavy. It's not fast, but it's quite fit. I must admit that it's quite fit and it's really strong. So if it would, you know, hit me with a punch, I think I would be knocked down pretty easily, to be honest with you. But you know, as we were playing, as we were like, you know, just sparring a little bit, you know, I was like, okay, I have to use my best, you know, features. I have to use my best abilities. And to be honest with you, I'm quite strong with my shins. So I hit him hard with my shin, not in full force, but I hit him hard and he started jumping around. So when you fight, doesn't matter how big your opponent is, as long as you're doing your best to use the best techniques you have in mind. Well guys, thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you feel sad, you better call Sal.
you.